All right, thank you very much for watching. For this demonstration, I'm going to create a very small application to create some books. I'm going to use AWS Lambda service, then I'm going to use AWS API Gateway service, and Dynamo DB. And we're going to catch the logs using CloudWatch. So let's get into it. So the first thing here will be creating the Lambda function. This is a serverless function that we can use from AWS. So the first thing here will be creating the function. I'm gonna create the first one here. Then I'm gonna use a runtime for this one. I'm gonna use Node.js 18. Then create function. Everything else we can leave it by default. And as you can see here, we have the function created. Then the second thing here will be creating an API gateway, which is the one that it's going to be connected to the function. So we go to API gateway, click on create API. We choose HTTP API and click on build. Then we need to give it a name. So we're going to name it as book-API and add integration. Then which integration we're going to choose? We're going to pick the Lambda one, which is the one we just created. It should be on the AWS S1 region. And from here, we can pick the function which was created, which is create book. And there you go. Click on next. So for the method, we're going to give the verb, which in our case is going to be post, because this way we can start creating the books or the whatever entries we may want. So we click on post for the method, and the resource path, it's going to be, let's call it as books, which is going to be the resource path. All right. Click on next here. The default stage, then the stage name, we're gonna leave it as default, and click on next. And review and create, then create. All right, we successfully created the API book. So now from here we can see the invoke URL. So now we do have the API created as well as the function created. Now, if we wanna test whether this is working fine or not, we can use a tool that is called Postman, which is something like this. So let's use these books, post, and click on send. Hello from Lambda. So it's created properly. Actually, if I do change here, click on deploy. And I hit this URL again. Yeah, it should be updated. So everything seems to be working properly. So the next thing here, it's going to be creating the Dynamo DB. So for this, we're gonna create a table. We go to Dynamo DB, create a table here. We're gonna call it as books. So for the partition key, we're gonna call it as ID, and everything else will be leave as default. So after this, what I need to do is to update the code into the Lambda function here. This is a code I have already created. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste it for now. Then click on deploy to save changes. Successfully updated. We're good. Then the next thing we need to do is to provide the proper access to the Lambda function on the proper access to the Dynamo DB, because for now we only have access to the CloudWatch logs. So for this, we're gonna go to the role name here, create book, and we're gonna create a specific role for this specific Lambda function so they can go ahead and create different records on the DynamoDB. So what I need to do here is to go here to the permission policies, click on add permission, creating line policy. I need to select the service, which in our case it's going to be DynamoDB. Then for actions, we're going to need to allow the item. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is to add in the ARN. For the region, is going to be US. This is the region where our database is located. And the resource table name, it's going to be books, which is the one I created. Okay, so click on add ARN. Once this is finished, click on next. We create a policy detail, which is going to be create book policy, and click on create policy. And there you go. We already have the access to the CloudWatch. We already have the access to create book policy, and let's see how it goes. Now we go to Postman here, books. Then we're gonna pick the body, raw data, choose JSON, and title, let's call it as Bible, comma, then author, get, this is going to be the first one, click consent, and there you go, it's created. We can create a different one. Sent, and we see it's created. Actually, you can go to the table here, the books table, explore table items, and from there we can see we have James Clear, we have Bible, we have the two different records I just created here. And also we can go to the Lambda function, go to monitor, we can go to view CloudWatch logs. We have log groups here, click on the group. Actually, we can click on search log group, and from here we can see we can have a variety of logs here.